Pemirsa, saya berada di tengah-tengah Bukit Lawang di Taman Nasional Gunung Leuser, kurang lebih 100 km dari Medan, Sumatera Utara. Dan di hari Lingkungan Dunia, in this World Environment Day, we would like to ask several things with my sources. And I am with Minister of Environment and Forestry, Mrs. Siti Nurbaya. Bu Baya, good day.
Thank you.
And I'm also with Minister of Finance, Mrs. Sri Mulyani Indrawati. Bu Ani, good day.
Good.
And also I am with Norwegian Minister of Climate and Environment, Mr. Andreas Bjelland Eriksen. Mr. Eriksen, good day.
Very nice.
Very nice to meet you. First, I want to ask Mrs. Nurbaya. Bu Baya, what are Ministry of Environment and Forestry doing to restore Indonesia's land, forest, and also to reach Indonesia's target of net zero emission, Bu, especially in this World Environment Day?
Yeah, actually we have been having Indonesia forestry and other land use net sink 2030 target.
Mhm.
That means that we have to reach our commitment on NDC, on reduction emission. So on that aspect, we will have target, and I believe it's going to be optimistic, could be reached. It's about 140 million ton CO2 negative. So that means we will reach the target. Because let's say starting 2020, we do manage to reach the emission reduction up to 48%. And then on 2022, we have about 43%. On last year in 2023,
Yeah.
as we know, we have been having El Nino. We were reaching about 41%, but that means it is manageable because our target is 31% with national capacity and 43% with cooperation, internationally, financial, and technically. We are lucky that we have such a good Minister of Finance that supporting the agenda. And as you ask about the agenda, in the follow net sink, we are doing the rehabilitation, mangrove, peatland, as well as natural forestry areas, the degraded land. We are doing also the planting, and good things is that community has been having good awareness on this aspect. And we do manage also conservation areas to improve and to keep the wildlife in their habitat. So we realize that about 60% of the emission reduction should come from forestry area. So of course we are very aware of this land rehabilitation and restoration.
That's why we are here in the middle of a orangutan conservation area, Bu Baya. Well, in order to reach those goals that have been explained by Mrs. Nurbaya, Indonesia must have adequate financing, of course. Mrs. Sri Mulyani, what are concrete measures that Indonesia had made and are doing to reach its net zero emission target? We understand that Indonesia had formed Indonesia Environment Fund. What is the purpose of that fund, Bu?
Well, first, on the national determined contribution, that is the Indonesian contribution to reduce CO2, as mentioned by Ibu Baya, that we are determined to reduce 31% with our own resources and 42% with the global support. And that has been estimated, the cost required to do that is around $287 billion. But the biggest part for this cost is actually for the energy transition. The forest and land use is actually has the capacity to reduce the CO2 more, which is around 40 to 50% of the contribution of total CO2 emission reduction. But the cost is much less. And that's why this need to be like, we have to be able to continue balancing between the Indonesia own strength, which we have to preserve many of our forests. And also at the same time, because Indonesia continue want to grow as a high income country, that will require more energy. We have to transform our energy from the non-renewable to become renewable. So what is the support for the budget? In this case, we are using many fiscal tools in order for us to be able to deliver these NDCs in a credible way. On the forest and land use, the allocation of the budget is actually not big. It's around 5.4 billion US dollar.
Okay.
In which part is actually allocated through Ministry of the Environment, including to preserve all this, combining with other resources. The biggest part is actually 245 billion is for the energy transition, and that's why for the fiscal tool, we design the fiscal policy in order for us to be able to increase more renewable energy and reduce more non-renewable.
Yeah.
But the renewable energy will require also the grid as well as the transmission distribution, which also have huge implication in terms of the cost. So from the fiscal tools, that is all from the tax incentive allocation of the budget up to the public-private as well as blended finance. We are all using all those in order for us to be able to support, especially for the forest and land use, which is very, very significant in contributing the reduction of CO2, but the cost is not that big. And then the necessary energy transmission that we are using. Now, the Indonesia Energy Fund, that is in Indonesia, we call it BPDLH. This is an agency which is established under the Ministry of Finance, but jointly with the Ministry of Environment.
Of course.
This is the agency that is being established in order for us to be able to create a platform with a good governance, more efficient, effective, transparent, accountable governance.
Yeah.
So in this case, on the technical side, Ibu Siti and her team is going to be the one who talk about how we can mobilize funding, especially from the international, including from Norway. And this is also implementing the fiscal tools as well as the policy tool, like the result-based payment.
Okay.
So we are going to be supported when you deliver the result. And we need to have an agency which is trusted by all agencies all over the world, like bilateral Norwegia, but also from multilateral institutions like World Bank. We are implementing on the technical side on the Ibu Siti ministries, on monitoring and review and evaluation and reporting. And then the money will be then issued the decree by Minister Environment, Ibu Siti, in order to allocate for which local government that deserve to get this fund grant in this case, in order for them to use for this environment protection.
Okay.
We combine with many other instruments, like from the fiscal side, we also have a transfer to the local government. One item on their incentive or performance of local government that we measure is actually on the environment protection. So we use all resources, tools, as well as mechanism within this platform.
Okay. The climate change is real, and I believe Mr. Eriksen is facing the humid here, the hot air, and Indonesia has been doing many things to tackle the climate change. How do Norway and also the rest of the world sees Indonesia's doing, Mr. Eriksen?
I mean, first and foremost, although I'm a relatively young man, I've been engaged now in politics for 20 years. And when I started doing youth politics in Norway 20 years ago, we were talking about climate change as something that was going to happen in the future. And now 2023 was the hottest year that we've ever recorded. So climate change is happening here and now. And that is why action here and now is so important. And I think I can say very safely in terms of the Norwegian view that Indonesia has really been a leader. And under President Jokowi and under Minister Nurbaya, what has been achieved here on reduced deforestation, it's on an immense scale, and it's one of the biggest contributions to the reduced CO2 emissions globally in the last couple of years. So it's really, really a big achievement. And now also to hear of the plans for the Follow Net Sink 2030, and how you really can turn it around to also become a contributor of what we're going to do going forward as well, to reduce more emissions in the future and even contributing net positively in the future. That's a very amazing plan, and we're very proud to be a part of that partnership between Indonesia and Norway, and to be able to contribute to the work that's being done. And also to be here to see how the plans are moving forward, also for utilizing the money from the Indonesia Environment Fund is really exciting to see, and it's very positive news that we need to really share with the world as well, because it's very easy, given the backdrop, to become negative towards a lot of the things that's happening in the world. But the action that's been taken here in Indonesia and the political leadership that's shown here in Indonesia, it certainly shows that it's possible to do something.
Mr. Eriksen, this is my last question for you. Do you have any other specific wish for us Indonesians doing to reduce the to tackle the climate change and also the carbon emission?
I mean, the easy wish is to keep on doing what you have planned to do for the next couple of years. I think utilizing the forest in line with your plans, while at the same time working on the energy transition and finding good ways for working with the energy transition, and also ensuring that you're able to integrate with that with further growth, new prosperity, new possibilities. I think that's a very good plan going forward. And from our point of view, we will continue to contribute to that plan in any way we can also going forward.
Thank you, Mr. Eriksen. And that's a wrap for Minister's Talks from the Field. Itulah akhir dari pembicaraan para menteri di tengah-tengah lapangan, di tengah-tengah Bukit Lawang, Taman Nasional Gunung Leuser. And I thank you, Mrs. Nurbaya. Bu Ani, thank you. And also, Mr. Eriksen, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I am Leonard Samosir. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
much.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you.
It was really an honor to visit the nursery this morning with President Jokowi. It was incredible to see the scale and the ambition that's there to ensure that IKN and the region is part of a greener and more sustainable future for Indonesia.
Also very pleased to be a part of this diplomatic delegation with President Jokowi and Ibu Menteri to see this Mentawai nursery. Really impressive to see how much has grown over the past 2 years, and the progress and the scale that's anticipated for the country of Indonesia. And so pleased to reaffirm our partnership between the United States and Indonesia through the environment sector.
I was very happy to be at the Mentawai nursery, and I also got to visit IKN yesterday. I am very impressed with the President's vision of developing a new capital, but to complement that with the reforestation effort, thanks to the nursery.
We've had a very interesting morning. I think it's a great initiative, I have to say. And I particularly like the way there's a focus on introducing diversity in all of the trees that are being propagated and being used as part of the reforestation effort. So instead of just having monoculture, just a eucalyptus as far as the eye can see, you're seeing all kinds of different trees. Fantastic.
I'm very happy to be here to witness this facility. It was very well organized, and also it's very nice to see the ambition of planning 34 facility. So it's a great legacy for Indonesia, definitely, and Pak Jokowi. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
I was very pleased to take part in this visit this morning. It was great to see what you have achieved. I think the nursery was well organized, very technologically advanced, and it's a great initiative to work on the forest project in Indonesia. So we're happy to support this.
And I was invited yesterday to come here. It was really nice to see the nursery. I never seen so huge nursery by myself, to be honest. So I think you do a great job. Thank you very much.
I really appreciate all the vision and all the efforts of His Excellency President Jokowi, that he insisted to come himself to attend the opening of this project, and Her Excellency the Minister of Environment. We really appreciate all of this effort, and I think this will be a good model that we are looking forward to to work together towards it. Especially that in Egypt there are some consultation about how to build a new capital in Cairo.
Dan dengan mengucap Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, pada pagi hari ini saya resmikan persemaian Mentawir di Kabupaten Penajem Pasar Utara, Provinsi Kalimantan Timur.